Sagunto, Can de Morvedre region's capital, is situated in the north of Valencia province and the south of Palencia River. It was a strategic point in the past, revealed by its historical importance after 2,000 years of existence and its huge patrimonial legacy. Known as Arce, Sagunto was seized and captured by Hannibal in 2019 before Christ, what meant the excuse for Rome to start the Second Punic War. However, as archaeology investigation proves, Sagunto's territory was an inhabited place since the Bronze Age. The ancient city of Arce was built by the Iberians on a hill which nowadays emerges from the current city. On the top of that hill we can find the famous Sagunto Castle, the biggest one of Europe.
It was placed there because of its strategic situation for controlling all the valley between the mountains behind Sagunt and the Grauwveld harbor. In the 1st century, Emperor Augustus granted in the category of municipality under Roman law and undertook an important urban project. Due to this, the theatre was built on the side of the mountain in the middle of the 1st century next to the Forum, a civic center from Roman times, located on the upper terrace. In the middle of the 2nd century, the circus was built next to the banks of the Palencia River, with a capacity for 50,000 and 20,000 spectators.
Later, in the 3rd century, the surroundings of the circus were urbanized, turning the area into compact urban sectors. The transition from the Roman to Visigothic city is little known. This period of decline of the city can be observed by the loss of its name Saguntum and the emergence of the Islamic era, when the city changed its name to Murbite, which comes from the Latin Muris Veteris. It evoked the idea of desolate buildings and meant the end of the Roman Empire. In the 11th century, the basic elements of the city were perfectly defined. The military-political area of the Islamic period was located in the citadel, in the eastern part of the castle. The invaluable geographical situation and the presence of an outstanding port was undoubtedly attractive for the Jewish community that was constituted as Alame in the 13th century.
After the conquest of Jaume I, the city continued to occupy the same wall enclosure, expanding its accesses. The city was structured around parish councils that created new suburbs. Stately homes were built on the relevant road axis. During the 16th century, Morvedre continued to be a fortress town due to the insecurity that existed during this period. In the reign of Philip II, and as a result of pirate incursions, it was decided to reinforce the defensive system with numerous watchtowers, such as the Grauwveld of Sagunto Fort. In the castle, renovation works were carried out, and bastions were constructed. This project was not completed until the War of Independence, when Sagunto was besieged by the French. It was then when the fortress acquired its current appearance.
The beginning of the 20th century marks the creation of the urban nucleus of the port of Sagunto, a modern nucleus of the city located on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. The history of the port is reflected in the industrial remains preserved after the dismantling of the steelworks in 1980s. Currently, the historical industrial heritage of Sagunto is indebted to that primitive factory city in which city and industrial development went hand by hand. Sagunto has an incomparable territorial framework, which explains the prolonged occupation over time by different cultures and its great cultural heritage. All of this materializes in an important heritage legacy, whose recovery constitutes a clear commitment for the future of this city indebted to its past.